everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hey everybody, welcome to today's In the Studio with Stacey class, where we take fine art and paper crafting, we pair them all together, stir them in a pot, and make magic happen. This is an amazing series of classes that is really intended to expand what you thought paper crafting could be, should be, would be, by incorporating products from the fine art world. Not because I'm an artist, but because the products from the fine art world are such a caliber of quality. Who knew? Fine art doesn't speak to your talent level, it speaks to the quality of product. So we started these classes way back in January, and I take one type of product, and for the entire month, I use that product again and again and again. We have an educational class, which is usually the first week of the month. And then for the following Tuesdays in that month, we learn different techniques with it, different things to be done, all incorporating paper crafting products. So not only can your imagination soar, your creativity soars with it, and the final makes that you make to give to whomever you are giving them to, well, they're just elevated as well. So in November, we started with something called Auxiliaries. Now, in the paper crafting world, we know that as modeling paste or gesso, or sometimes maybe a matte medium, but in the fine art world, they are called Auxiliaries. And they are wonderful, and I had no idea about them until I took all my classes, because as a brand ambassador, I have a mentor and I get to take classes and I get to learn so much that then I get to come share with you. Being a brand ambassador, it's a non-paying gig, but it pays you so much more in the education and the experiences and the knowledge. I would have paid to be a brand ambassador. I have learned so much. So auxiliaries, we know them as gessos or mediums, but I didn't know all the different types of auxiliaries or how they were properly used. And in November, we started with auxiliaries, and I missed a week because I was sick. So we're making up a week, but then I thought, you know what, there's so much to be done with them. I'm just gonna finish out the year with auxiliaries as well. So we've already worked with them with modeling paste and Ecoline watercolors. Did you know that modeling paste is an under? Auxiliaries are kind of classified as unders, mix-ins, and overs. Unders would be your modeling paste and your gessos, something that you put down first and then add your color in on top. Mix-ins, well, mix-ins are things you can add your color straight to and then go and have a great time. And overs are things like varnishes or sealants. And thankfully, we don't need that much in paper crafting, so I'm not going to be playing with those at all. But we started with modeling paste and learning about it being an under. See, for me, modeling paste was something that you would take some color, a re-inker or whatever, take a little bit of modeling paste, mix it together, and then put it through a stencil. But modeling pastes are tinted. They're tinted white. They're pigmented. So if I put a beautiful red in my modeling paste, it tinted it down to a pink, when really what I wanted was a red. I did not know about gel mediums and how gel mediums are those mix-ins. That's where you mix the color in. See, I did this one. I'm trying to see if I've got the other one. I did this one and I didn't mix my color in at all. I put my modeling paste right through my stencil and colored right on top of it. Beautiful. Oh, here's my other one. Beautiful. But then with my mix-ins, well, I took my acrylic and put it into some of my gloss gel medium, and look at that. Beautiful. It took my acrylic paint, one little daub of acrylic paint mixed in with my gel medium, made my acrylic paint expand. No matter what you use your gel mediums, it makes that that product become more. Maybe you only have one little drop left of something. You mix it with a gel medium, and now you have enough to do your project. It is amazing. So the past few weeks, this is what we've been doing, and I encourage you to go back and watch those in the Studio with Stacey classes with the auxiliaries. They start in November and they run into December. Today we're going to continue on our path. We have done we've really done some very, very pretty things with auxiliaries. Here it is. This is an embossing folder pushed right into modeling paste, but here it is once you've colored it. We've done some amazing things, and we're not going to stop today. We're going to add to it. This time, instead of using our Ecoline liquid watercolor, which we used the first weeks, or our metallic Amsterdam acrylic paints, which we used last week, today we're going to use pastels, soft pastels. Are they really soft? Not so much. Are they pastel? Not so much. I don't exactly know why they're called soft pastels. I suppose that is a good question to ask. But these are not chalky. They don't crumble in your hands. They don't leave dust. They don't make a mess. They are by Rembrandt, a Royal Talens company, and they are as close to holding pure pigment in your hand as you can possibly get, and yet they are incredibly affordable. Rembrandt is a fine art level of product. Anything you see with the Rembrandt name on it from Royal Talens means it is a fine art level of product. Beautiful. So we're going to be playing with those today because I know many of you have them, and I'm going to do something super simple just so people who haven't seen a soft pastel understand what they are. These are not a chalky pastel. They are not the same as what you will see anywhere else. They're special, and they're different, and they're useful, and they're easy, and they're stunning, and they're not all of the dust and the mess you may think of as a soft pastel. We don't use them in a way a pastel would normally be used anyway. We're paper crafters. We came up with our own way of using them. So I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to tilt on down. I'm going to play with a soft pastel for just a minute, just so you can see what can be done with them or what we've done with them in the past. I did pastels earlier in the year, and you are welcome to go back and watch that entire series of classes. It was wonderful. So today we're going to be playing with our auxiliaries. We're going to stay in our gel mediums today, but we're going to incorporate our soft pastels, not chalk pastels, soft pastels. But are they really soft? No, they're pretty hardy. So I'm going to tilt on down and we're going to get started for today. It's good to see everybody. Hello. Welcome to In the Studio with Stacey. Now, will these classes continue into 2026? Well, I think so, but time will tell. We're figuring that out now. This was scheduled to be a 1 year kind of class, but now there's talk of maybe it being more than that. All right, so I've got a piece of paper down and a baby wipe. Can't get any easier than that. A piece of cardstock and baby wipe. And I have my soft pastels. They come in my little foamy. There's 5 colors per set. So these are the warm yellows. And again, even at full price, I want to say that these run about $12. So that's $2 and what, 30 cents, $2.25, whatever per stick. And what you can do with them is amazing. So take your baby wipe, just put a little bit on there. And you can come in and start making a background. Well, you can do anything you want with it, actually. You want to add a little more color to it? Right over the top. You want to come back in and add more. I need my baby wipe a little wetter. Add a little more yellow. They blend, they move, they dry, and once they're dry, they don't come off. They're not gonna They're not gonna dust off. They're not gonna make a mess. This is how easy a fine art soft pastel can be. I mean, they're just beautiful. So I wanted to play a little bit just so somebody who has never seen what a pastel can do, and trust me, I did classes on these. We've done so much with soft pastels. I just wanted you to see what could be done. Another baby wipe. Once your baby wipe starts to dry, you need to get a different, you need to move, either open it up and use a different area. Once it starts to dry, the pastel does not move as easy. And while it's almost 100% pigment in the pastel, there is just a little bit of binder that when mixed with the water allows it to just do its thing and not move all over the place. And look at what I'm able to create. So easy and so simple, and the colors are so lush, and you don't have to be an artist to make these things happen. You just have to be you and give yourself the opportunity to explore and play. We did a ton. So now that you can see that they're not chalky, they don't make a mess. Now we can play with them with our auxiliaries. See, I could just keep going and going and going, but I won't. But I could. Just love the colors. So today, we're going to take them and use them completely different than what I just showed you. We're going to use them with auxiliaries. So the auxiliaries I'm playing with today are my gel medium in the gloss and the gel medium in the matte. Now, gel mediums come in different viscosities. This is our standard gel medium from Royal Talens. And you will see, boom, comes off really, really easy. The viscosity is a little bit loose, kind of like a melted butter, kind of. So that is your standard gel medium. Then we can go into a heavy gel medium. Now a heavy gel medium, the viscosity is definitely different. Definitely different, much thicker. Not so much like a softened butter, more like a nice peanut butter maybe. And that's a heavy gel medium. But then we also have extra heavy. This is like your best buttercream frosting. This is like awesome. I mean, it is super heavy, super thick, very dimensional. And no matter what viscosity you get them in, they come in either matte or gloss. Now they look white, but when they dry transparent. And that's what makes these so different from a modeling paste. Modeling paste, when you, let's see if I can open it. Modeling paste also is white, but when it dries to that white. And if you mix something into it, it tints it to that color. So we'll do a quick side by side so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to use my pastels. So I'm not going to use my extra heavy. And I think I'm just going to use my gel medium gloss and my gel medium and my modeling paste. So just so we see apples to apples, I'm going to take, in fact, I'll just use this one. I'm going to take a little bit of my color, of my pastel, And I think I'll put a little bit of my gel medium down first. I'm working on my gel plate from Jelly Arts. I'm just going to shave. So can you see that? Let me get down there. I'm going to shave some of my color right into it. Gel medium is great when you have just a little bit of color left or you want to extend a color. You have a tube of your acrylic and you don't want to use the whole tube. You mix it in with you take a little bit of dollop and mix it in with a dollop of your gel medium, and now you've got that color again in true color, only you have twice as much of it. Gel mediums are really amazing products. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to mush and mash and blend that pastel in. I want to make sure there's no white left over. And depending on how much I blend it, I could either leave myself with some little bits and some little speckles, which are very cool. See little speckles in there? Or I can blend them until it completely dissolves. See, I think the speckles are kind of cool. So that's with a gel medium. I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to do it with a modeling paste. And I want to see what the difference is going to be. So this time I'm going to take a little bit of my modeling paste. And I'm going to put a little dollop down. And then I'm going to shave into it, just like I did before. And then I'm going to mix, just like I did before. But already I can tell you there's a huge difference between these. Because my modeling paste is pigmented white, I'm not keeping to the true color of what my pastel was. It has tinted it way down in color. And that is a huge difference. It's a huge difference between a gel paste and a modeling paste. Your gel paste, your mix-in, it's mix-in, M-I-X, next word in, I-N. Your gel paste or your gel medium lets you mix colors in to extend them. Where your modeling paste, if you mix a color in, it tints it down and softens the color. Modeling pastes go down first and then you color on top of it. Gel mediums, you can mix your color in because they do dry transparent. So let's take and let's grab a stencil. And this stencil is by Minte. And I'm going to take a little bit of my gel medium. And let's shave some color into it. So if you have pastels, soft pastels, the Rembrandt soft pastels, now you have a whole nother way of using them. And I'm just going to mix that yellow in. And I can make my pastels into a paste. That's an unusual way of using pastels. But I own them, I love them, and I want to get the most I can out of them. Let's do it again. Add a little bit more. Too much. Put that back. And you're not going to shave too much. I'm not shaving too much. I feel like this needs to come, either that needs to come down or this needs to come there. We'll try that and keep it there. You're not going to shave too much in. It doesn't need all that much to get it going. And then you just mix until all of your what looks like white has disappeared. In reality, when it dries to transparent. And I'm just going to scrape this all up and just keep pushing it in until I've got it all gone. And then I can pull up. And now I've used a pastel. To stencil. But it will do more. Put those off to the side and let that dry. Let's wipe this up, and I'll use a different color. Wipe it right off of my gel plate, easy peasy. Right off my stencil. And let's do another one. And this time I'm going to start with a light shade. Start with maybe a super light, beautiful pink. And let's pull a little bit of our gel medium over. I'm just getting all the stuff off the sides, and I'm just kind of blending it in even though it has some yellow in it. And let's shave our pink. And just a little shaving, it doesn't take much. And then a little bit blending. Get all that powder blended in to where I don't see the white anymore, which will eventually dry transparent. Okay, I think I'm going to start there. Now let's do maybe a slightly darker tone of pink. Probably more than I need. And shave a little darker pink in there. So we're taking something that was a solid and we're making it fluid. So taking something out of its normal form of being a solid and making it into fluid. A little bit more. And just kind of mush it all together and blend it all in. Then I can come back in and put some of it down. And then let's go in again. And every time I do it, I need a little less of my medium because I've already got so much of my area covered. And let's go in with a darker red. And I've barely scratched the surface. It still even looks round. That's how little that you take off. Get it all blended in there. And I can just hit some of my surfaces with that little bit of darker red. Because then when I pull off, I've got different shades going on, all with dimension. It's all got dimension because I'm using a paste. But I'm taking a solid and making it into something more than what it is. So here we did just our one color all the way through. Maybe you don't have a lot of colors or things to color to. With the pastels, literally for about $12, you get 5 sticks and then a jar of your gel medium, and you've made yourself a whole bunch of fun. Doesn't have to be expensive. And this is going to dry. This is going to dry to a gloss. Doesn't have to be expensive. Pastels are one of the most affordable ways of coloring something, and yet it is of fine art quality. But when you mix it with an auxiliary, taking it out of that stick form and making it into something that is fluid, changes the game. Let's do this one more time. Maybe we'll do it in some blues. So down. Stencils have two sides. You can always turn them over. And let's take a little bit of my gel medium, and then we'll do one with mixed colors. So a little gel medium, a little bit of my lightest blue. This is Deep Blues. So look at the deep blues. They're beautiful colors. Kind of mix it in and make it into my paste. And the more I mix, the smoother it gets. And I'm just using my gel plate as my palette. Okay, a little bit there, and then maybe we go a little bit darker. So I can always make more. I don't want to make too much unless I absolutely need it, because I can always make more, but once you've made too much, you gotta use it. Can't put it back in the tub. Can't take out the pastel that you mixed in. You gotta use it. Let's see what color that's gonna be. Oh, that's so pretty. Get all that mixed in. I don't want to see any white. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then one last color. I'm just going to mix that extra into it. Gosh, is this too dark? We won't know till we do it. I'm just going to mix it all together. Look at how navy that color is. I'm just going to fill some holes where I see white. And, oh, I see I've got lots left over. Oodles left over. And then let's pull. And now we have all the different colors of the blues. Right? Pretty easy and pretty wonderful. Let's wipe down. So auxiliaries give you the opportunity to take inks and pastels and acrylics and watercolors and use them in a different way. It extends them. It gives them more life. Let's change our stencil. So this one is by Minte. The stencils I'm using, the stencils I used last week were by Minte. There we go. And let's take a different one. So let me cut a piece of paper. And this time maybe we'll blend some colors. So maybe I'll start with a yellow. Think about what you own, and if by just adding a couple of the auxiliaries, the modeling paste, the gel mediums, whether you do it in the matte or the gloss, because no matter what the viscosity, it has two different finishes. Think about all the new things you could play with. By using what you already own and adding what they call an auxiliary. It's not just for acrylics. The auxiliaries I'm using are an Amsterdam product, and Amsterdam is the acrylic line for Royal Talens. But I've used it with watercolor. Now I'm using it with our soft pastels. And if I were to do this in an Amsterdam acrylic, I would have to use almost my whole tube. Okay, so let's do another color. So I did that. Let's do maybe a little green. And you think you're shaving a ton off your stick, but you aren't. These sticks are going to last you for a long time. Now, some of them were on back order, and we're expecting, I think the purples and the rich oranges are due back in any day now. So I will look and see what we have, and we'll put them as part of the sale. Look at that green. My goodness, is that beautiful. And I'm just going to come in and blend it in with some of the yellow. And then just because I can, I'm going to add in just a little bit of blue. Just because why not? As long as we're playing. And I just take a, you can see how long this tub is going. Oh, that was way too much. I'm put half of that back. How long the tub is going to last you. So if you are crafting on a budget and you want something that's going to give you oodles of options, pastels are it. You get them wet with a baby wipe and you've made them into a kind of an ink. You mix them with an auxiliary and you've made them into a paste. They blend, they move, and you get the 5 colors for about $12, and then when we put them on sale, it's even less. So I'm not trying to hide my yellow or my green. I'm just trying to add a little bit more of something. See, I told you, it's a good thing I put some of that back. I had made way too much. And then we can pull it. And what we are left with is dimension and color. So another way of using our auxiliaries from Royal Talens, Amsterdam Auxiliaries, and that means your gessos, your modeling pastes, your gel mediums in the regular gel medium, in the heavy viscosity, in the extra heavy viscosity, in matte, or in gloss. And remember, what we did last week is completely different to what we're doing this week. Last week, it was all about the acrylic paint and extending that acrylic paint out. Look at the gloss on these. I mean, it's beautiful. So, matte finish, gloss finish. There is a striking difference, and it's just a matter of which one you like the best. And the same would be for the pastels that I'm using. The difference between the finishes will change the look of your finished project. Now I'm going to keep today kind of short because I know as close as we get, the closer we get to the holidays, the harder it is. And we all have a jillion things, I'm sure, on our plate to do. But I will be back next week, and we will still be with the auxiliaries. Only next week, I think I'm going to bring out the pearl auxiliary. And you should know the pearl auxiliary is not pearlescent. Oh no, it's a specialized auxiliary, and it's beautiful. So just one more thing to add to your crafting arsenal. where you can make something more than what it was by incorporating fine art product into your stash. They're beautiful. So I'll take a look and see what the pastels, how many, if we have enough pastels to put them back on sale. And if we do, I will. There's a bunch of different sets, tons of different sets. I used warm reds today. I used cool greens today. I used warm yellows today. This one's warm yellows. I used lush greens today. And I used deep blues to make everything we did today. And I think they're all gorgeous. And the varying colors that you're able to achieve without diluting the color down is really amazing. Now I need to let these dry. But once they're dry, bam, they're gorgeous. Well, that one's getting there. These two are almost there. Or you just use your pastels. One of the ways is to make beautiful backgrounds. Up to you. All right, you guys, that's today's In the Studio with Stacey class. I know, short but sweet. But as we get into the end of the year, well, everybody's got so much to do, and I just really want to expand on these auxiliaries to show you what more they can do and what more they can do and what more they can do. So I will be back next Tuesday with a whole nother In the Studio with Stacey class for you. And the next time I see you will be this Thursday for our next New For You event featuring Simple and Basic. That's where we bring you the latest, the greatest from your favorite manufacturers, all value priced. It'll be 6 p.m. sunny California time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, when we live chat during the premiere of our New For You event. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you saw, I know many of you have these soft pastels and you're like, holy smokes. Yes, absolutely. Royal Talens has it for you. And I'll put the Minte, I'll make sure that the 2 new Minte stencils are also online for you. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacey. Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Bye, everybody.